Wir haben von Rania die Geschichte gehört von der langen Heimreise, dem langen Weg nach Hause. Aber es gibt viele Palästinenser, die sind gar nicht in Palästina geboren. Es sind Millionen von Menschen, die im Libanon, in Syrien, in Jordanien auf die Welt gekommen sind. Und ich denke, diese Person begleitet alles dieses Gefühl, einen Ort zu vermissen, an dem man eventuell auch noch gar nicht war, oder ein Land, in das man noch nie seinen Fuß gesetzt hat. Und wir freuen uns ja, dass Ahmad heute hier bei uns ist und seine Geschichte mit uns teilt. Er ist im Libanon geboren und über den langen, langen Weg in Österreich angekommen, um heute im Lied für uns zu sprechen. Einen Runde Applaus bitte.
Hallo. First, I want to say, actually, to my friends, Mia, Ilona, Rania, Bisan, everybody, they try to motivate me to talk without feeling, just to talk same like Bisan and the others, but really I can't. Really
No,
I
you
can't.
can! You can!
Yeah. Thank you very much. You are nice people. That's why you stand with us, by us, at the Palestinian side. Yeah. Yeah. Firstly, hello everybody, brothers, sisters, and the friends, and maybe almost, I think almost we know each other, but maybe some of you we don't know each other. Okay. To be honest, as I was trying to start writing my short story about myself, I didn't know even how, when, and where to start. But I noticed that firstly I needed to introduce myself. Maybe the memory will come back to help me write something. Things that are maybe from the past, but are still growing up with me, side to side. It has never even left me while growing up. My name is Ahmad Hilal. I'm a Palestinian refugee, born in Lebanon, South Lebanon, in Ain al-Hilwi camp. In 1988, I'm originally from Akka, the nice city. That's located on the Mediterranean coast. Maybe that's why there was a big relation between me and the sea. The sea in Lebanon Saida, I remember that I had bought my coffee and went to the beach. Sat down there and told my secrets to the sea waves, because I know the sea will not tell anybody about my secrets. But still I have that feeling that I don't belong to this land. Maybe even don't belong to this world. I just belong to that land that I suffered from that suffered from the occupation since 1945, 1948. Palestine was and is still everything in my life. I asked myself several times why this love and this combination between me and between this land. Although I didn't even see it one time, but till now I have no answer. To be honest, I tried maybe thousands of times to not think about Palestine and not to think about what happened in Palestine and to live normal life. same as the others. I even tried to drink alcohol, to consume drugs, to take medication, just to take Palestine out of my mind and what happened in Palestine. But no way, nothing helped me. That actually means Palestine is not a material thing. It's not only a part of my soul, but a soul itself. I feel that heavy feeling pushing on my chest. I feel like I'm not even truly living because I live constant emotional pain of my land that's occupied. I grow up hearing romanticized depictions of the cities and villages of 1948 and imagined them as a forbidden lands, fabled places of beauty and splendor. The Israelis took our most beautiful cities. It's a common refrain I have heard since childhood. During the 1918 and 1948, Akka became known as an important economic and cultural center in northern Palestine. Salma Khadra Jayusi, and a Palestinian writer who spent her teenage years in Akka, recalls, Akka looked to joy and harmony, to an open heart that welcomed life. That's our life. Throughout this period, business flourished in different sectors: pottery, copper, textile work, and of course, fishing. Akka was also home to important Islamic and Christian religions. During that time, also became renowned for its prison. Throughout of British mandate, the prison walls witnessed the oppressions of several Palestine uprisings. Indeed, although the Israeli narrative only stresses the imprisonment of Zionist fighters, they were very few compared to the number of Palestinian jailed, tortured, and executed in Akka. In 1929, three famous Palestinian martyrs, Fuad Hijazi, Atta al-Zir, and Muhammad Jamjoom. And we have a thing for this story. It's called من سجن عكا طلعت جنازة محمد جمجوم وفؤاد حجازي جازي يا شعبي عليهم جازي مندوب السامي يرحل من هنا. Yeah. But sadly, they were arrested and incarcerated in Akka prison of participating in the Burak uprising, a wave of demonstrations and riots against Zionism and the British colonialism. The latter called in the 1929 Palestine riots. They were sentenced to death and executed in June 17, 1930. Their famous last words still resonate with today's struggle. At the end of our lives, we say to the Arab leaders and Muslims all over the world, don't trust the foreigners. We lived and died for the Arab cause. My grandparents were expelled when they were 9 years old and went to Lebanon. We lived our lives from massacre to massacre, siege to siege, war to war. And my grandmother told me many brutal things about Sabra Shatila. Once the Israeli military with Lebanese militias massacred Palestinians. I was born 6 years after the Israeli invasion of Lebanon till Beirut. I remember as a kid at night while I was trying to sleep, I heard the bombs so often close to my home. But my mother came to me and my siblings to reassure us, and she said every time, "Don't worry, my baby. It's just an event or wedding." Proudly, my grandfather was a resistor against the Israeli occupation in Lebanon in 1982. He lost his hand and eye while he fought against the Israeli occupation's invasion of Lebanon. But he continued the same way. His dream was to reclaim our Palestinian land and live in peace. I saw the sad in his eyes when we would talk about Palestine. I saw him crying when he saw a hard and bad news about Palestine. That has planted the love of Palestine in my soul. He died, and all I heard from him every time I saw him and met him was, we will return soon to Palestine. I finished my secondary study in 2006. After that, I decided to do anything in construction. Not because I loved it, but because I had a bigger chance to maybe travel to and work outside the country, especially in the Gulf or in Africa. It's not easy, but not impossible. My dream as a kid was to study law to help the oppressed and the poor people, but my dream was impossible in the country that deprived me of more than 70 civil rights. One of them doesn't allow working in many professions. It was a nightmare and a shock as a kid. How can that happen on this earth? By the way, after I graduated, I traveled to work with an international construction company to Congo, Kinshasa, to work as a land surveyor, landvermesser. It was the first time for me to travel outside of Lebanon. I was about 20 years old. To be honest, it was a nice challenge for me because I have no experience in this area. New culture, new language, completely new life. Suddenly, I heard in their Swahili language many Arabic words. I asked them about what these words meant, and they explained it to me, and I was shocked. It had the same meaning in the Arabic language. After all, I asked them how that can happen, and they explained to me why they have some Arabic words in their Swahili language. The main reason in the Belgian colonialism in Congo, where the Palestinian resistance fought with Congolese resistance against that brutal occupation. The people there are very lovely and nice. Although Congo is rich in resources, diamonds, golds, even oil, and many more things, the people still live in poverty until now. They hate the foreigners. And surely I understand that because of the hard and the bloody history of the Belgian occupation. After 2 years, I left Congo and I lost my dream job. Because of hard reason. I will not talk about it. It's a long story. Anyway, I arrived in Lebanon and started to search for work. But surely illegally because, as you know, we are even deprived of work. It's not only my story. It's a story from hundreds, thousands of people, kids, youngsters, adults, and the elderly. But at the same time, parallelly, I have dreamed as a kid to leave Lebanon anywhere, even to hell. Because of the hard situation that we live in Lebanon, especially in the El Hilal camp, that is surrounded by 5 checkpoints and isolated by a wall. The same maybe as Gaza. I came back to Lebanon and stayed for many years searching a job to save money and travel to Europe to see my future and to help myself and my family. I even thought that Europe is the democratic union, where one can say his opinion without any repression of freedom or personal threats. But after I arrived here to paradise, as I thought, I started my next suffering. Racism in government departments and the arrogance of many of those around me, such as the police, who do not follow the law and fabricate false accusations just to satisfy their desires and moods. Most recently, that they fabricated a charge that I had obstructed their work, that I hurt the police's feelings when I told them that I hate you. And that's the truth. All of this happened because I refused to stop filming. As they were dealing with a person in an inhuman manner. This is my responsibility, not just to sit and watch, but I have to protect him. Even this person, whether he is accused or otherwise. Unfortunately, there is no oversight of actions of the police. They are rebellious, arrogant, and even consider themselves to be above the authorities and above the law. This is the law of the police, not the democratic state. This is the law of the countries that support the Israeli occupation, and it's bloody. Inhuman crimes, down with their humanity and your false freedom. It has fallen. The mask and the curtain have been removed. Free Palestine.